Joining me now is Republican Congressman from Georgia and emergency medical doctor Richard McCormick. Get you to weigh in on what we're talking about here, because in your home state of Georgia, we're looking at other things going on, right? We've got more than 300 South Korean workers who were detained at an immigration raid at a Hyundai plant. South Korea says they have reached an agreement with the U.S. and are going to repatriate their workers. So I was wondering if you could share with us what you can tell us about their detention and what's going on, and give us an update.
A lot of this just recently happened. We're looking into it because I know we have other plants from all over the world here in Georgia. It's one of the best places for businesses to come. So, of course, we have this massive expansion of what the president wants, which is production. The problem is sometimes you have a shortage of people, and so sometimes businesses turn to illegal sources of immigration. That's why myself and several other Republicans are working on right-sizing our legal immigration system. But we should never encourage people to break the law. We should never have people here who came here without the government knowing. That's very dangerous. I know for a fact that most people who come here just want to work and live in peace. I get that. That's why it's up to us as legislators to right-size our immigration policy to do what's right for businesses and America. Like Calvin Coolidge said 100 years ago, the business of America is business. That said, though, we cannot reward people for breaking the law, and that's where we're at right now. It's kind of, we're at a impasse where we need more workers. We need the right kind of people here. I want to see immigration be right-sized for America, but we're not there yet.
Listen, timing is everything, right? And this immigration raid came at a time when there are ongoing tariff negotiations with South Korea, a country that pledged to invest $350 billion in the U.S. So some big numbers there. How does this ICE raid affect our relationship with one of our top Asian allies?
Funny you should ask. I just got back from South Korea, talked to the leaders Hyundai, Samsung, SK, Hyundai Shipping, as well as several others, probably two-thirds of their trillion-dollar economy, the leaders of those communities I talked to. And we have a very good relationship with them. I served over there probably 4 times when I was in the Marines, served with the South Korean Marines and served in their armed forces. And they love us over there. They were happy with the 19% they got, thinking they actually got a pretty good deal. But this probably will be a bit of a stress point for us. I think we'll get through it. You're seeing it in India, too. I think Prime Minister Modi and President Trump are close. We're going to have some rough times as we kind of roll through the wrinkles in this system that's pretty new. But ultimately, we have to come to more fairness and follow the laws that we have. If the laws are wrong, it's up to us as Congress and the Senate and the President to change the laws to make it right. But right now, we have to follow laws. We are a nation of laws.
Yes, all right, and we're keeping an eye on that as we also look at Congress racing to avert a government shutdown as the September 30th deadline looms. Of course, that sounded so far away, and here we are. Take a listen to Democratic Congressman Gabe Vasquez on the Hill Sunday this morning as Democrats try to take a tougher stance this year.
Let's not lose sight of why we're here in Washington, D.C. Now, when I go back to my district in New Mexico and I hear about folks whose health care premiums are going up by 200%, who are losing their food benefits, who are potentially losing some manufacturing jobs right on the border of U.S. and Mexico. Those are American jobs. And they say, please find a way to bring some relief to our families, find a way to make housing more affordable, find a way for me to be able to afford child care. Those are the things that we should be here legislating.
Okay, it's the million-dollar question, right? How can Republicans and Democrats come together to reach a long-term compromise? How do you see it?
Well, I see the Democrats basically clawing at trying to find something to fight us on. This is their line in the sand. They don't want to see, I mean, ironically, I don't want to CR either. I think we spend far too much money. We're 30% deficit spending. Even given the tariffs income, that's 10% of the deficit spending we do, regardless of how much we are benefiting from the new tax, essentially, on businesses, whether it be foreign or here. That's not going to solve our problem. We spend too much. So the Democrats' only solution is to say, I don't like the way the Republicans are doing it. I want to fight it. Matter of fact, they'll even fight a CR. And I'm not for a CR, but the CR is the compromise. It's Nancy Pelosi's bill. They'll say, I'm not going to vote for it. They want a government shutdown. They want to take their pound of flesh. They want 60 votes in the Senate to hold up everything, because once you go to a shutdown, it'll take 60 votes in the Senate to open up. That means Democrats have to participate, which means they get their pound of flesh. We spend more. We go more into deficit. So they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth. They're going to say, we want to shut down the government because we don't want to vote for a Nancy Pelosi continued resolution. In other words, if we do another CR, it's basically the budget from the Democrats that we're supporting. So this is hypocrisy at its highest level, trying to spin it as if they're trying to solve a problem when they're just trying to get more of their way further than to the left than they already have.
Yeah. Well, we're watching the calendar closely, right? We've got September 30th coming up here in just a few weeks. Republican Georgia Congressman Richard McCormick, thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll talk again.